Hey, what's up, y'all? This is the Mother's House podcast, and I am Deshaun, and we are here tonight. Oh, and it's Corey here too.
Yo, what's going on? Peace, delight to everyone. Peace to the family. What's going on with my cousin? What's up, cuz?
Nothing, man. Just doing the nightly. What's up with you?
Man, right here on the night shift with you. Night shift.
That's what's up. So let's get straight into it. So Grapevine, the Grapevine, which is a podcast on YouTube with a bunch of melanated people from different areas of the world talking about, melanated people issues. Tonight, or their most recent episode, was on man bashing. And it was a woman-filled panel. But they basically, and I think it should have been, because women should kind of lead that argument. They basically gave their opinion on what man bashing is and why women say men ain't shit and why women say men are trash. So what did you think about the episode?
Overall, I thought the conversation was very well needed. I learned some things about how black women may feel. These women, even granted, these are very smart sisters. They're very well spoken, very intelligent women, and strong, beautiful women. Probably not the scope of every black woman perspective on this topic, but at the same time, I think I learned a lot from what they were saying. I thought it was a good conversation. I thought the episode was really a dope conversation. I just wish there was more solution building behind it too. You know what I'm saying? Instead of you break one half, break down what it is, right? Next half, let's talk about the solution and steps to solutions. But they are making an attempt to step onto solutions by having the conversation. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Grapevine. How you feel about the episode?
It was cool. It was insightful, to hear what the woman had to say about, I guess, the behavior of black men over the years and, what caused the whole men ain't shit, men is trash. It's almost, is it a movement now? But
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't hear it that often. It haven't been thrown in my face. You know what I'm saying? But on social media I see it and I'm like, okay.
Is it like I feel like social media definitely exaggerates and sensationalizes things, and I think this whole toxic masculinity thing is really being, dramatized to the point where it's like it's almost like an attack, and I think some of the guys took that as the same thing what I'm saying, that it may be an attack on straight black men.
Yeah, with Damon Young article where he said black men, straight black men are the white people, are the white men to black people, right?
Right.
That article, yeah, we definitely get a podcast on this. Y'all definitely can go through our catalog and take a listen and see how we feel about that article in particular. But right now we're talking about man bashing and black men ain't shit, mentality. That some sisters feel, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And some are valid, sometimes, I never dismiss another person's emotional response. But at the same time, when you make an emotional response, you got to, sometimes you got to take the emotion out of it so you can be able to see the full picture to try to heal it. So you'll be able to heal yourself as well to a certain extent. You know what I mean?
Right.
You never leave yourself. You know what I'm saying? Never leave yourself vulnerable to that emotion again. So you definitely have to guard it. I think a lot of black women, for generations been bombarded with, exploitation from the music, exploitation in industry and jobs, across the board from white patriarchy. And this one thing that one of the sisters said on the show, black men and black women are affected by white patriarchy, which is racism. You know what I'm saying? I just think that it's a definitely needed conversation, but I think think that, it's so many different ways to attack it. You know what I mean?
Right. I feel like it's just over the top. And it's hard to say that because anything about a woman is sensitive. From rape culture to whenever you say a woman is like lying or implying that, there's another side to the story that she's telling, it comes off like you're disrespecting women. And that's just not what it is. I think I said this in one of my personal podcasts on the George Patterson. I think we still have to be very critical of everything that's said and not be so quick to, downplay something that says something, counter to what you're saying, what a woman is saying or anyone is saying. But they definitely had some valid points. But I don't know how all of this is conducive to helping the people overall. And I don't know what they expect to get from this. And I don't know a lot of stuff. I don't know what they want. I feel like I don't know what they want. I think black women, especially women on that panel, are giving a lot of mixed signals. And I think, and I don't want to say everyone has a role, but it's like, nowadays I feel like it's like everyone wants their cake and want to eat it too.
That's the society. That's the capitalistic society. That's the westernized mentality that we have been indoctrinated with. That whole do for self. You know what I'm saying? Right. I always say this society is very selfish. The first person everybody looking out for is self. It's not looking out for children or the generation behind. You dig what I'm saying? When you turn, your highest value is not in the children, it's in self. You turn to just focus on instant gratification. That's why Instagram and Facebook and social media amplifies this rhetoric and amplifies, stroking each other's ego.
Right. Know what I'm saying? I think in a lot of situations, you can't, I feel like with black women and with most people, you can't have both. And those two things that you're choosing between can be a lot of different things, but I feel like this is a situation where it's like you want this from a man, but you want this. Like, you can't.
I didn't hear that from the podcast.
I didn't hear it, but I hear it in the overall.
But what you mean by they can't have both? Like, what you saying? Black women want what? Black women want what?
I just feel like black women want their men to be a certain way,
right?
And they also want to be able to be a certain way themselves. But I think sometimes those two pieces don't match up, and I think that's why you have more black women that are single today, because I feel like, and I get people want to do what they want to do, and I don't want to sound like you need to be doing XYZ, but there's just a certain line, and it's a very thin line, and it's a very sensitive line. And I don't want to say women have roles and men have roles, but
we at the duality of things. Men have responsibilities and women have responsibilities.
And my thing is, you can do what you want to do, but you have to be okay with the consequences.
But this the thing, man. We in a society where everybody's phone wolfing it out right now.
Everybody's what?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, say what you said again.
I said we in a society where everybody lone wolfing it right now.
Everybody's what?
Lone wolfing it right now.
Right. Yeah.
We in a society where everybody's out for, I'm not going to say the same thing, but lone wolfing their existence. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is really in this society right now is focused on a constant building on relationships. Like, don't get me wrong, like, that's not conclusive across the board. That's not like the conclusion of everybody. Plus, I ain't an expert, so don't hold my words to it.
Right.
It's just how I see it. And I think, black women, just like black men, they don't really know what they want. Period. Because we don't really have solid examples of what we want. You know what I'm saying? And you don't necessarily have to have solid examples, but you do have to start with having an honest conversation with the people that you're going to get with, the people that you're going to meet with, the people that you're going to, have children with, get married to. You know what I'm saying? You got to have these honest conversations.
I also feel like with the, I kind of feel like with the Grapevine panel, I feel like those people were kind of victims of media manipulation too.
Oh yeah, we all. This is the thing. Media perpetuates the division between black men and black women. That's been going on since the sister Aisha said epigenetics plays a big role in this.
Right.
Plays a big role in the division between black men and black women. When you were born in your mother's womb, you feel the emotions, everything she's getting, whether she's being attacked by a man, whether she's getting attacked at the job, whether she's feeling some type of way, you're feeling all that, right? So your mother being in a traumatic situation, you're going to come out from that, you're going to feel that. You're going to get traumatized too because you're in the womb. And not only that, when we talk about PTSD, post-traumatic slave syndrome.
But that wound example is worse for women though, right? I remember she saying something that it kind of travels through women or something, yeah.
Yes, it's worse for women. So I understand when a woman be like, man, it's trash. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel that because they probably feel the same way they mother does.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's another thing. Little black boys are cared and loved. Black women are just being protected. It's not the same duality within it. You know what I'm saying?
But it's like, but should you? And that takes me back to, okay, as far as what you said, roles. I think people do have roles. And I think, should you really be treating everybody the same?
No. It ain't about being treated the same. It's about not treating the same. It's about providing that balance for both child. So they have a full understanding of their role. This is the thing. A lot of boys don't really know their role. A lot of men don't know their role.
Right.
A lot of people don't know their role. It's not necessarily a role. It's not like, okay, my role is playing Hannibal. Your role is to play Harriet. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. It's responsibility. What is your responsibility as a man? What is your responsibility as a woman? You know what I'm saying? Build off of that. Think of it that way. Not necessarily as a role. Like, a woman supposed to be with the kitchen cooking. Like, no. A man should be able to cook, iron clothes, wash clothes. Like, my parents taught me how to wash clothes, taught me how to iron, taught me how to cook.
Right. On the show, when they were like,
easy, but,
on the show when Donovan was like, he didn't learn how to do this, and how they were saying most men don't learn this till their 20s. I knew what the hell they was talking about. I was like, I don't know. I don't know who raised y'all, but I knew how to do all that stuff.
He sat me down and taught me how to iron.
Right. I knew how to iron, like wash clothes. Like, I knew basic, like, I ain't gonna say I knew everything, but I knew basic stuff, and they made it was just weird. Like, it almost came off kind of caricaturish, the kind of man who they described. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
But we can't dismiss that.
And I'm not going to dismiss it, but it just was kind of like... It
probably don't represent you, per se, or the people that you know, right? It don't represent me or the people that I hang with. But we know for a fact there are a lot of ain't shit men out there. Is
it really that many, though?
Say that again?
I say, is it really that many?
Probably. I mean, that probably is. And then again, you never know. This is the thing. When I hear about the ain't shit man, I'm wondering, are y'all talking about people like Khalif Brown?
Right, and what makes this man an ain't shit man? Like, did he just piss you off?
Let's break down the specifics.
Did he cheat on you? Yeah.
Ain't shit man is a man that, perpetuate rape culture. Ain't shit man is a man that perpetuate, sexual trauma and exploitation of black women. Ain't shit man is a man that do not respect women at large, right? That's ain't shit, man. But when we talk about transgenerational shit, like, this is the thing. This was one of the key issues of really trying to define what makes an ain't shit man, how to demolish creating an ain't shit man, and also what creates an ain't shit woman, and how to demolish what makes an ain't shit woman. You got to look at history. You got to look at epigenetics. You got to look at trauma.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The divide did not started in the 80s with the crack epidemic. It did play a major role in the division of the black family. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
Mama been hurting for a fucking long time, and when mama hurting, everybody hurting.
Right, and
so right now,
I agree with that.
Like letting everybody know, look, I'm hurting, and you ain't gonna hurt me no more.
Right.
So that's what the response we seeing right now from the women.
Right, and I definitely agree with that. I know things have been happening throughout generations, but at the same time, I also feel like it almost comes off kind of like a stereotyping a little bit, almost like when Hillary Clinton said super predators, or when somebody say thugs. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting from the whole toxic masculinity argument. Like, I know it's some, I've said it before, I know it's some fucked up niggas out there. Like, I know it's some niggas who are what they describe, but I feel like I know enough, and I've come across enough people to know that it's not as big of a problem as they're making it out to be.
Focus on the minority few. This is what social media does, period. They focus on the minority few, they cause them problems and conflict within the black community, and escalate them and make them paint them as the majority.
Right.
Like, that's what media does. That's exactly what media does.
It exaggerates nothing. Not that it's nothing. They exaggerate things that aren't that big of a problem. I'll say that. And I just feel like this.
I ain't gonna say it's not a big problem. It's a big problem.
I'm not gonna say it's not a big problem, but I'm gonna say there are bigger problems. How about that?
I still say rape is a big problem. Sex trafficking is a big problem.
Right, but
sexual assault is a big problem. But problems, you can't really monetize what problems is, right?
That's true.
Okay. You can't really say what problem is worse and what problem is that it's a problem, period. It gotta be solved. It gotta be fixed.
Right.
You know? When it comes to black men and women relationships, black men and women are working together, the masculine and feminine energy working together, so these black children can see and be healed. You know what I'm saying? In order to get to that point, because right now nobody coming together saying, hey, we need to get together and have these real conversations so we can, be there for future generations. Nobody really having that conversation. They saying, I was hurt like this. I was hurt like this.
Right.
White man doing this to me. Well, white women, black men, straight black men, you know what I'm saying, doing this to me. Then you got black men saying, black women, white man, white woman, everybody separating into their own factions and groups. Nobody's really uniting. You know what I'm saying? These conversations are not bringing people together. They're separating people. They're causing a division. And when you cause a division between a black man and a black woman who's left out in the cold, the child, they don't know who the heck to turn to. They like, well, shoot, I'm a lone wolf in myself. I'm just going to follow attributes, traits. What? I'm man, this a man, this how a man act, this how I'm going to act. This how a woman act, this how I'm going to act. If nobody sitting down and having a real strong conversation, look, you need to iron your damn code.
You stupid.
Clear, man, woman, or child. You need to iron your clothes. You look great. You don't want to go out there in the world looking like you don't know how to iron your clothes. You don't need to go out there looking like you don't wash your clothes. You don't want to go out there looking like you don't know how to brush your hair or brush your teeth.
Right.
There's simple things and responsibilities grown men and grown women have, and not for, and even if you don't have children, you have responsibilities as a man and responsibility as a woman. They are different. They're not necessarily the same, and they ain't supposed to be the same. But that's how you break. That's how you balance the yin and yang of feminine and masculine energy, and that's how you work together. The problem is nobody knows how to work it together. You know what I'm saying? Me and you come from a fortunate family where we see examples of men, masculine energy and feminine energy working together conclusively.
I was
overpowering the other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Men are not overpowering the women in our family, and the women is not outshining the men.
Right.
Everybody working together.
And that says that we once did know how to do it. It was this era of, from mass incarceration to misogyny being publicized everywhere to the independent woman thing to it was a lot of different things that kind of made black men and black women kind of turn their backs on each other. So, so we did know, but and I just feel like this argument, and I'm over the gender war too. Like, I'm tired of
everybody. Me personally, I am over it. I think it's an argument that doesn't lead to a real solution because nobody really having a real conversation about things that really matter or the people who it really affects.
Because it doesn't help. It just publicizes problems. This is like airing out your dirty laundry, basically.
Yeah, true. But as far as what the Grapevine did with this video, like I said, I agree 100% with Aisha. I agree with 100%. I don't know the young lady with the short hair. She had on like white or something. I agree with her. But at the end of the day, when we talk about the division between black men and black women, when we talk about the ain't shit man and the no good woman, you know what I'm saying? When we talk about these two people in these negative connotation and we publicize it and put it out here in the multiverse, and that's pretty much what the internet is the multiverse. We perpetuating energy of ain't shit energy back down to us. You know what I'm saying? We attract. It's like the laws of attraction. You attract things back to you when you continue to perpetuate what it is. Now, if you call it a great dog, you know what I'm saying? Then that's what it is. If a man ain't doing shit, he being an ain't shit person, he attributing ain't shit qualities. Don't fuck with this dude. If you got homeboys who are ain't shit people, don't fuck with them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Granted, they were like saying, if you're not an ain't shit man, then these articles and these people saying ain't shit men, this and that, shouldn't even bother you. Honestly, be quite honest with you, Shani. When they do make these articles, I don't take them personal.
I don't either. Like, I'm not, because I know I'm worth. Yeah, I'm great. Get you. Like, I know I've been good to everybody who's come in my life. Like, I may be almost too nice. Like, I know that I ain't.
I don't want to get used and abused at the end of the day.
So
shit. But at the same time, I don't sit there and complain about that neither, because I ain't no simp about it.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. We in a culture, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of dudes who are fucking simps. Who are fucking, and there's a lot of simple-minded people, period.
What would you say a simp is? What would you say a simp is?
A simple-minded person, a person that is very shallow in their thinking when they, in the sense of relationships, in the sense of movement, how they move around within relationships. To be more specific, what a simp is. So many examples. I would probably use a popular person just to give you a clear example. Who's a recent dude that?
But okay, well, what would make that person a simp?
What made that person a simp?
Like,
a simple man is a man. One, there's a lot of different, and there's levels of simping. Okay, so for instance, in Bright Lightning, there's a young boy in the show, right? Mm-hmm. A woman took the grade, turned him down, right? Mm-hmm. And I approved his push. Basically, a simp man is basically a bitch dude. A dude that's a bitch. A dude that's weak. A dude that doesn't have no backbone, no strong strength in him, right?
Okay.
On top of that, he attributes his lack of power, his lack of acceptance. He attributes his rejection with violence.
Oh, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? That's some simp shit. You know, for instance, within black, that's why a lot of women, what some of these women were describing as ain't shit men, those are simp dudes. who they're talking
Okay,
about.
so
And
I'm confused.
it's not filled with simp dudes.
So are simps and toxic masculinity people the same thing?
If that's what that toxic masculinity people are. Toxic masculinity, I don't think it's a particular person. I think toxic masculinity is a system of behavior that's been transcended, passed down, generation to generation.
So toxic masculinity is more like a culture.
Yeah. Toxic masculinity is more like a culture, a culture of behavior. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what when they say toxic masculinity, that's what they're talking about. Now, when Danny Young was writing about it, he was talking about particular people. You know what I'm saying? Not the culture. He ain't talking about the behavior of people. He was talking about black men. And they do this and they do that. Like, no, black men don't do that.
Right.
A real black man don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, what type of black men are you hanging around that do this all the fucking time?
Right, and that's
you hang around these toxic masculinity.
And I think that's why I always
their toxic masculinity is going to lead them into jail.
Right.
If they black.
Right, and I think that's why I always, whenever I hear men ain't shit and stuff like that, I'm not offended because I know my worth and I know what I bring to any table. But I think it's almost like I'm still a black man, so it's like I still have brothers and a father and a grandfather, and I know too many good examples of great men to just let that statement fly. You know what I'm saying? To just be like, well, some men ain't shit. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that all men are perfect, but we all have our mistakes. We all have our, our issues, but I just can't completely go with that statement. Yeah, I just can't. Like,
but this is the thing, I can't get behind it because I know it ain't true.
Even when it's like
it's not a representation of all black men. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes, it should be called out when it's shown. Yes, it should be called out. Them sucker ass dudes should be called out, right? It's like if you see a sucker sister that's try to get a dude shot or get a dude robbed. You know what I'm saying? Get a dude trapped in the Matrix.
I thought a simp. I'm sorry. I thought a simp was someone who like capes for women all the time.
That is that too. Like, it's different levels of simps. There's so many different levels of simp. Simp is just a term, and it's a very, I don't even think it's a new term, but it's pretty new. But it's a term. It's just a term of pretty much shit that ain't shit people do. That's pretty much what it is. That's pretty much like simp women and simp dudes. And then also it's a sucker dude. It's a trick. Like, it's a new word for trick.
What, simp?
You tricking for these hoes, that whole thing. Those are simp dudes, right? Kanye West is a simp. You know what I'm saying?
How? How?
Whenever you take away, when you conflict with integrity, with your integrity, or integrity of your people, or integrity of your previous stance on certain relations or matters to benefit or try to appease another person, that's some simp movement. That's what Kanye West did. He came into the industry not necessarily 100% consciously aware, but he was conscious. He was one of the, he was a backpack rapper. He was the smart, intelligent rapper, right? Now, he is seen as the genius as far as, his music discography or whatever, but his message has transcended from, black people uniting, black people, black power, the white man don't give a shit about us, Donald Trump hate black people. That message that transcended to him going to the White House, taking photo ops with the president, him getting married to Kim Kardashian, and bitching, complaining about, him not getting, accolades for his fashion. He had manipulated and flipped the whole game. That would make him a simp. And shit he does is simp behavior. Did that answer your question? I don't know. I hope I did.
No, it gave me some insight.
Well, at least it gave you some insight. But that's why I call Kanye West a simp. these situations, when we have these real conversations with black men and black women together, right? Do black men listen to what black women do? What black women are saying? Do these black women have valid points that black men need to adhere to what they're saying? Do black men actually do check their brothers when they off the record? Like, I for a fact have been in a situation where I'm working with my coworker and he's like looking at little underage girls, you know what I'm saying? Talking about, look at that fatty right there, look at this, look at that. Like, dude, get your creepy ass away from me.
That's just
you know
weird.
I literally tell the dude, like, get your creepy ass away from me. That's some creepy ass shit. You on some foul shit. Like, I let him know. Do dudes do that? No, we don't. Not on a regular. So we do gotta call out, like, there's a self accountability for men on some shit and a self accountability for women on some shit. But at the same time, the biggest issue is the children. The children are seeing this. The children are seeing how we interact with each other. The children is going to get impacted by this because we're going to pass down the same toxic masculinity and toxic, because if you want to call it femininity, I never heard it.
I just hate I hate the term toxic masculinity. I really hate it. I really do. I really do.
Explain why you hate toxic masculinity.
Because
I think you already did, though.
Especially because they're attaching it to black men, first of all.
Yes.
And they're basically, that term doesn't fit what they're trying to say. Like, toxic masculinity, toxic black masculinity, to me sounds like you're trying to call masculine men toxic. That's what I get from it.
And the sisters will tell you that was on the Grapevine, be like, well, you didn't listen. You broke down why some men, some behaviors, toxic masculinity is this and this and this and this, X, Y, Z. So you wasn't listening.
Well, I can understand what they think it means, but just the word by itself when I hear it, and how people in media have attached it to certain characteristics, makes it seem like, especially that Damon Young article, he was basically saying all straight black men are toxic. And I get more of that than I get it's just certain type, because I feel like even the sisters in the Grapevine video, they still really didn't describe a clear example of this guy who, it was just kind of like these little stereotypical things. Oh, that when they talk to you a certain kind of way, women have dealt with this for so long, they still weren't really clear on who's this or what's this toxic masculine guy. You know what I mean? I feel like it's too broad.
Same thing with Sim. Same thing with Sim culture. Same thing with the word Sim.
And like I said earlier, it's just like people saying that black men are thugs, or like the term thug or super predator. It's like that. It's like, okay, so who are you talking about? Like,
you think it's a term that's castigating and going to lead to more black men going to jail, leading more black men to be, castigated even further?
I think it's a term that's going to be even more divisive and going to cause people to, it's almost like it's going to replace the thug term. You know what I'm saying? It's a term, because
it already has. Yeah. Oprah Winfrey run for the election, that's going to be the headline, and black men is going to be painted as the toxic masculinity.
Right, and it's going to just drive a wedge. Like, I agree with the Sigma when he was like, so what do you want? Like, what is all this going to do? Like, what are you trying to do? Like, what's the end goal of this whole argument? Like, are we trying to unite? Because it doesn't really sound like, I know everyone's saying they're tired of the gender war, but at the same time, we bring up, and I know we're going to always bring up shit because that's how, life is, to make us better people, but there are just some things that I feel are just almost in a hamster wheel. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I get what you're saying.
I'm single.
When you hear about a black woman talking about her getting harassed on the street, do you feel empathetic to it, or do you feel?
I do. But I feel empathetic to it, but I don't hear, and maybe it's because and even when I had the female friends that I had, I currently don't have as many. I'm not around females as much because most of the girls who I was around have grown up and got husbands and stuff like that, for the most part. Not everyone, but I don't. And maybe girls tell these stories to each other, I think it could be that too. You know, a woman to open up a little bit more to a woman than she would to a man. I personally don't hear a lot of, and I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm not downplaying it because I know it's a very serious issue. But the whole catcalling thing, I just feel like it's just a little exaggerated to me. I do. I feel like, and then a lot of women like that. A lot of girls like when guys talk to them certain type of ways. It's like, that's why I'm like, what do you want? Do you want a tough guy? Do you not want a tough guy? He's toxic. He's a simp. I don't know.
Yeah, a dude doing the catcalling, he ain't necessarily a simp. He's just a dude that doing catcalling. And if a girl is not receiving his catcalling, and he perceived to call her a bitch, a hoe, a slut.
Now that's wrong. That's wrong. I agree with that.
Uncalled for shit. You're a sucker. Move on with your life.
But I also feel like those are things I saw when I was younger. Like in high school, middle school.
I think that kind of stuff when we were younger.
Yeah.
And now that we're in our 30s, we really
yeah, I don't see that anymore. I don't see that.
We don't be in the parking lot pimping.
Right. I would say mid-20s to 30s. Like that stops once you leave high school. When guys first start trying to talk to girls and they get their little feelings hurt, that's kind of what that is. And then, yeah, as you grow.
Old dude was up there and he was kind of, to say his piece, get the tall dude in the back. And he seemed like the type of brother who was, he had his heart broken a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? He seemed like he was a simp back in his day.
That whole entire panel had their heart broken. There's a bunch of broken hearts up in there.
But like I said, Aisha's opinion was very strong. What she was saying was very true. It's generationally passed down by behaviors from generations. You know what I'm saying? How black men and black women has been treated. And not necessarily by black men and black women, by white people, and they projected that to their children. And they projected that within their children. Like, I know I had a conversation with one of my uncles on my father's side, my auntie ex-husband. It was like, love is miscommunication between two fools. I hated that damn statement. I still hate that damn statement because that's not fucking true.
Yeah, I don't like that statement either.
That whole division between black men and black women. You're projecting that you'll never understand a woman, you never want to get a woman, and women just going to be what they are, so you don't trust them, you don't talk to them, you treat them like this, you treat them like that. You got men who do tell these young boys these narratives. I've been told these narratives. You know what I'm saying? You probably haven't been told these narratives, but I definitely have been told these narratives by older black men. You know what I mean? So, I understand when they say some men are exhibiting these behavior. A lot of men are exhibiting these behavior. Yes, it does happen. But to paint the picture, the broad brush, and paint every black man in every TV show where you got strong black female lead as the bad guy, as the toxic masculinity.
Right. It's exaggerated.
This guy. T.I. is chauvinistic.
Right.
Killer Mike will be chauvinistic if he leaves his woman.
Like, it's getting to the point where when people in this country think of a black man, they're going to think of a quote-unquote toxic masculine guy. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's coming to.
See, it's the fear of the black man. It's the fear of the black man. If you destroy the black man, you destroy the family's network.
And I feel like they're playing into it.
Black woman destroying the black family network. So when you see black women, I'm sorry, cuz what you about to say?
No, I was just saying, I feel like a lot of times we play into that and we don't realize it, both men and women.
Yes, we do. Both of us. All of us do. When they paint a black woman, like for instance, this whole thing about Michael B. Jordan and black women boycotting
Black Panther.
And you got a lot of black men. I saw nothing but black men complaining about it on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Rarely saw any black woman saying I'm boycotting it. But a lot of black men, all these bitches, all this. Okay, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That right there plays the perfect example of the divide when you look at social media. But when you look at people within your everyday life, people that you walk and actually interact with every single day. I ain't talking about the motherfucker that's on the street catcalling. I ain't talking about the sister that giving you the stink eye. I'm talking about everyday people that you literally present that example of what social media is painting of masculinity and femininity.
Right.
Masculinity and femininity from the internet instead of our personal interaction with our loved ones, our personal interaction with our family, our personal interaction with our children.
Right, we're letting media
really tapping into that. We're tapping into social media reality of what masculinity and femininity is instead of touching into real people.
Right, all media, not just social media. It's like they're giving us an image of who we're supposed to be.
Exactly.
And we falling for it.
That's why I think this Black Panther movie is going to be so good, because it's going to show the balance between the two. From the looks of the trailer. You know what I'm saying? When I watched Black Lightning, you saw the balance between a strong black family, strong black man. The black man, the dude who portraying Chris Williams, who portraying Black Lightning, he's not a weak man. And also, his presence in his daughter's life had a strong impact. His daughters are not going to take no bull jive because they had their father in their life, and their father let them know, look, you ain't got to take that. You know what I'm saying? They had their mother in their life to let them know, look, you don't have to take that. This is how you do it as a woman. This is how you it goes this far. This is how you gonna handle it as a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You need masculine and feminine energy to work together conclusively. If it doesn't work together conclusively, the person who gets left out in the cold is not you per se. Yes, you may be a victim of this. You may be a victim of, masculinity, patriarchy. Yes, black man, you may be a victim of racism, mass incarceration, all these different things. But guess who left alone, period, to be continuously exploited every single day? That's who the main target is. Not the black man that's grown. It's not the black woman the black man who's getting incarcerated every single day. The grown black man, yes, he getting incarcerated, but guess where they start from? From when they children. Because the children is left alone. So y'all need to stop fucking fighting with each other and start building with each other and protect these children. Fuck with your damn egos and everything.
Right, and on that note, I'm done. I ain't got nothing else I want to say.
I ain't got nothing else to say. That's the perfect way to cut it, clean it. Hit that like button, hit that share button. We're going to leave a link in the description to the Grapevine video. And until next time, peace, love, and light to you all.
I will not raise my daughter differently than my mother raised me. The rearing I got from my mother, words cannot express. I could live in any time, I could live in any country, I could live on any planet, and I would be fine.
What was the key? What did your mother know? What truth was coming through your mother that's going to come through you to your daughter?
My mother gave us aphorisms to learn as children. And there are two that stand out foremost in my mind. One is, the inner reality creates the outer form. I learned this when I was in grade school. I was very young. And the other is, the universe bears no ill to me. I bear no ill to it.